Hey y'all, I won't be on here long. This is a new series that we just started. It's called Reviving Wifehood. Okay, this is going to be for the ladies, but of course, men, y'all can tune in too. But we are going to do multiple series of Reviving Wifehood until I feel like I should stop. Okay, like God is okay, He done cleared out everything within your girl, and it's time for me to stop. So I welcome everybody. I pray that y'all are doing well. I ask that you just give me a little bit of your time. I'm Josie, by the way, and I'm the founder of Girl Plus Kingdom TV and Ministries, a ministry that was founded in 2022 when I decided to fully surrender my life to God and give Him a try, and He changed my life. I have experienced turbulence on the journey. I have experienced deliverance. I have experienced healing. I have experienced walking into my destiny and my potential, unlocking my fullest potential because I made that decision to trust God, and I have fallen, on the journey. Everything has not been perfect, excuse me, y'all. Nothing has been perfect. As a matter of fact, I ended up, even after 2022, finding myself having to restart everything all over again. It's like a reset almost. But you have to trust God even in the reset. Okay, but that's not what today's topic is about. So again, I'm just waiting for a few people to come in. I'm waiting for a few people to get the notification that I'm live so that we can start today's series and start our discussion for today, because it's going to be straight from the heart. If you know me, then you know that I try to give quality. I try to give value to my family on here and everywhere that I go. I'm not a perfect woman. I'm just a woman on the journey, becoming and evolving and bringing you along my journey as I do that. So, as I have learned lessons from a woman who has been divorced, from a woman who has, just been through just different trials in her life, can testify that the journey does bring a gift. The journey brings clarity. The journey brings newness if you allow it to. If you don't get stuck in the pain, if you don't get stuck in the confusion, if you don't get stuck in transition, because sometimes transition, it can destroy you if you do not lean on God. And I had to find that out. So today we're going to be talking about, welcome everybody, come in and let me know where y'all coming in from. I want to know where y'all are coming in from before we get started today. Just tell me, put it in the chat. I want to know, where is everybody watching, and what do you hope to get out of, hey Louisa, hey, I hope I said that right, Louisa. What do you hope to get out of today's message? If you know me, then you know that I'm all about empowering women to just embrace herself, just walk in the highest version of herself, and allow God to, really come in and help you on that journey, because you cannot do it by yourself. I didn't do it by myself. I had to learn through what I suffered. I had to learn through what I suffered, okay? So, again, this series is going to be called Reviving Wifehood. And today um, we're going to be talking about when a woman really finds herself. When a woman really finds herself. I believe, for me personally, that's the beginning of the journey. That is the entry point of the journey to reviving wifehood. Why? Because I feel like when a woman know who she is, then she can walk as a wife fully and unapologetically. But when you are still struggling on your journey to understand who you are, to understand your purpose, to understand your why, to know why God put you here, then it's going to be a little bit more harder to um, walk in marriage or walk as a wife. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to fulfill that role in that assignment. Why? Because a woman that is not clear about where she's going cannot even identify the type of husband that she should have. And when you lack clarity of your purpose, when you lack clarity of your vision, when you lack clarity of who you are, then you will allow men that do not, serve you purpose. You will allow men to come along just to fill the void of loneliness. And we can talk about that later. You'll allow men to come along that, God didn't even approve of. He didn't even give you a green light. But you, because you have not found your lane yet, and because you haven't found what brings you purpose, because you haven't discovered who you are, and you haven't yet identified your identity yet, then you start to allow the wrong type of company to come in. But when you are solid on who you are, and you know why God put you here, and you believe that you are worthy of a love that is strong, of a love that is healthy and not toxic, of a love that you don't have to plead and beg to have, of a love that you don't have to strive and try to prove who you are, just to keep them and just for them to recognize your worth and your value. When you understand who you are, then you'll be more willing to not accept breadcrumbs for love, not mistake love bombing for true love, and you'll have a sense of identity. You'll know who you are. You'll be more willing to receive the love that God has in store for you. And it might take you years to discover it. It may take you years to come across the love that God has for you. But a woman who understands who she is, she's willing to wait. She's willing to pull herself back from situations that do not serve her. She's willing to pull back when she see that the relationship is draining her, that the relationship is taking life out of her, that the relationship is bringing her down instead of pulling her up, that when she see there's no purpose in being here, that the man that she's with, he's struggling with mother wounds that he has not faced. He may not even know he have the problem. But a woman that understands who she is and knows who she is, that woman, she ends up walking into marriage more prepared, or she ends up walking into relationships more aware, self-aware, understanding her needs, understanding her value, understanding her worth. And it's not to be negotiated on the table with a man who asks you what you bring to the table. She understands that she's not in a negotiation room or an interrogation room when she meet a man. If this man cannot understand who you are when he lay eyes on you, and when he's talking to you, and he have that first encounter with you, second or third encounter with you, and he still can't see, and he knew that when he came into your life, he would not bring clarity, but he would bring confusion. That's not for you to then go in and try to give him that understanding, or try to make him see your worth and your value, because the man God has for you, he gonna see it. He gonna see it. God will open up that man's eyes to see it. You don't have to beg. You don't have to plead. You don't have to, try to force your way into the situation. Like, God got you for real. He got you. He know exactly how he made you, and he know the man that will be able to carry you. He knows the man that you need for your destiny, not for pleasure for now, not for a quick fix, because you lonely and because you want to feel good now instead of waiting. But a woman who understands herself, even if you find yourself in a relationship where it drains you, where it pulls on you instead of lift you up, you will have the power and the strength to walk away. Yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. And yes, you're going to feel like you lost a little bit of yourself because you gave pieces to somebody and you didn't receive anything in return. You was being robbed. But when she understands who she is, there's just this level of self-love and this level of self-worth and this level of knowing her value that she holds, that she's willing to walk away from situations that no longer serve her. She willing to allow the man she thought would be her forever to, go ahead and go about his life and pray the best for him, while she continue to rise and step into everything that God has for her. She's not afraid to be alone. It may feel like it at first, but then a woman who knows who she is, she'll have an awareness. She'll come back into herself, and she'll realize, like, it's better that you go than you stay, because I will not trade my value for a temporary fix. I won't trade my value for a man who can't understand what value is. And so at any point, in the relationship where you feel like you have to start proving yourself and overworking or over functioning, that's a sign that it's time for you to leave. Because a man that understands who you are, you would never have to prove. He watching your character. He's watching you already. He looking at you to see your value before you speak a word. Men know exactly who we are, not by what we say, but by our what we give off, how we present ourselves, how we carry ourselves, how we walk, how we talk, how we move, our values, not the value we say we want, but the value we actually walk in. And that's how a man can identify you as his wife. So if you think you got to prove yourself, I want you to take a step back and I want you to look in the mirror, even if you don't look in the physical mirror, because you are the mirror. Look within yourself, and I want you to begin to remember who you are. Remember that you are God's daughter. Remember that God, he made you and he put purpose in you. He put destiny in you. You are a woman of character. You are a woman of value. You are a woman of power. You are a woman of strength. You are a woman that is identified by the Most High God. And nobody can take that identity from you. You can give it away. You can spend all your life fighting like Celie in The Color Purple, trying to prove to a man that, hey, I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy to be seen as this beauty and this woman of value. But you got to recognize that sometimes some of the men we entertain, they don't even know who they are. They don't even know they value. They don't even know what God put in them. So how can they show up and see who you are and see your value and actually appreciate it? You got people that's questioning you and putting you down, not really seeing your character and not really seeing who you are at your core, but then you stay because you want to prove something. But a woman who understands who she is, she only get validation from God. She only get validation from him telling her, well done. If you don't hear God tell you well done, you won't feel validated. You always feel like you don't fit in. I want you to imagine hearing God tell you well done, even in your worst season. I want you to imagine hearing God's voice tell you you are enough. Tell you you are royalty. Tell you that you are made. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Tell you. I want you to imagine hearing God's voice tell you that you're the apple of his eye. That even in your worst seasons, even when you don't feel like you that girl, even when you don't feel like you walking in the highest version of yourself, that don't mean that you are not still her. I remember I had a dream. And in this dream, it was a garden. And inside the garden, my dad was inside the garden and he was picking from my harvest. And I looked at him and I got my harvest from him. And I told my daddy, well, I didn't tell him nothing, but I looked at him as if though my spirit was talking to him. And as if though my spirit was saying to him, that's mine, that belonged to me. See, he wanted me to see that even if it looks on the outside, like there's nothing forming, like there's nothing budding, like there's nothing good happening around you, like everything is shaking around you. He wanted me to see I have an inheritance for you, that I have a future for you, that I have a plan for you, that I have a purpose for you, that this garden is yours. Look at everything that's budding. Behind the scenes, I've been working the whole time. And when you thought your season couldn't get any worse, when you thought your season couldn't bring more pain, more disappointment, I want you to look at the garden that I was curating for you behind the scenes, that I was building you and I was making you. And now look at your garden. It's beautiful. Look at your garden. It has fruit. Even if in your physical life you feel like you don't have fruit, sis, if you feel like you don't have value, if you feel like you don't have worth, if you feel like everything around you is shaking, I want you to imagine yourself having a garden where your Father is there, where God is there. Because for a lot of us, we didn't have a father affirming us. So we don't feel worthy. We don't feel like we that girl. We don't feel like we fit in. We don't feel like we matter much. We feel like people approve us only when we do good, only when we getting it right. And that's not God. So I want you to imagine in your mind yourself being in a garden that's full of harvest, that's full of goodness, that's full of inheritance. Because God has a plan for you, He got a purpose for you. And even if you don't see the flowers budding in your garden yet, I don't know who I'm talking to. Even if you don't see the fruit of what was planted inside of you by God yet, He is still tending to your garden. And for some of us, it's time to see that everything God was doing behind the scenes is getting ready to work out for your good. Everything that you thought was planting you underneath the ground was God allowing seeds to go under the ground for an appointed time, because your time was going to come when your harvest was going to be plentiful. So you are already enough. You already have a garden where God is tending to you, where He is uprooting what don't need to be, and He's planting new things inside of your garden. And it's growing even if you don't see it. It's blooming even if you don't see it. You're about to take off even if you don't feel like it. Your season is shifting. As a woman, your evolution as a woman is getting ready to bloom. You getting ready to evolve. You going to another place. You going to another dimension. You getting ready to see everything, all the tears you cried and all the nights you slid down the wall. You snotting on your pillow and you crying over that man. You crying over what hurt you. You crying over what broke you. You crying over what you had to let go of. But those tears were watering your garden. It was getting you ready to enter into another phase of who God created you to be. And it's okay that you don't have it all figured out yet. It's okay that you sometimes you look in the mirror and you feel like you unrecognizable on some days. It's okay. It's a part of the journey. It's a part of the plan. Even when you feel like hell is just all around, it's a part of the plan. For God to reveal to you who you are. For God to show you that underneath everything you've been dealing with, I've been working behind the scenes for you. And I'm getting ready to reveal to you your identity. I'm getting ready to reveal to you the inheritance that I had stored up for you before you was even formed in your mother's womb. I'm getting ready to reveal to you. Because some of us are waiting for our husbands. We're waiting for the man to find us. But I promise you, it's not about being found. It's about knowing that you have already been located by God. And that's the identity that we have to walk in as women of God. Understand that everything has its place. And even in your season where you want to be married, it's okay. It's understandable. Or you might be married, but you need God to tend to your garden. Understand that everything has its place and its time, because God said, I make all things beautiful in my time. So what that they leave or they don't love you? I want you to understand that it's the relationship you have with yourself, fostering the little girl inside of you, that's going to help you to love you and stand on your own, even when you don't understand it. So today, I'm here to adjust your crown. And I'm here to tell you that there is a garden on the inside of you that God has made beautiful. And everything that you think is meant to destroy you, God is using that to plant seeds in your garden, so that when harvest time comes, and I'm telling you, for some of us, harvest is close. It's knocking at your door. You will begin to see the fruit that came from some of the most painful seasons of your life. That God gives you beauty for ashes, and some of y'all are getting ready to see the beauty. So I want you to understand, discovering who you are is one of the major steps to understanding wifehood. A woman who understands herself, she's a dangerous woman. She's a woman that's not threatened by what goes on around her. And when the right man come into your life, you'll be able to stand still and hold fast and not even move with a hasty or anxious spirit. In my closing, I want you to understand something. The right man won't have you chasing behind him. It's time for us to, even if you married, take the time to step back, do some self-reflection, spend time by yourself. And if you haven't spent time by yourself in a while, this will be a good time to start. This will be a good time to take time to yourself and be still so God can reveal to you the parts of you that you don't know about yourself. Because that is going to prepare you to walk into wifehood or to fulfill your role as a wife in a way greater way. When I first got married, I did not know who Josie was. I had no clue. I didn't know the anointing over my life. I didn't know who God was. I didn't know the plan he had for me. And my marriage suffered as a result of me not knowing who God was and who I am and where he taking me. Listen, I suffered. So when I give advice, when I give words of wisdom, when I give you wisdom from experience and definitely from the word, I'm coming from a real place. I'm not coming from a place where I heard hearsay or I heard somebody else say this through the grapevine. Listen, I had to go through hell. I had to fight the devil. I had to fight versions of me that kept competing with my inheritance. I had to fight versions of me that was outdated and no longer served me where I was going. I had to fight to walk in my womanhood, to walk in my place of worthiness, to walk in my identity. I had to fight for it. So you're going to have to fight for this. You ain't going to get it without a fight. But you have God, and that's what make the difference is that you have God, and he going to help you to fight. So you're not in this by yourself. Unless you choose to, you serve another God or whatever, then you in that thing by yourself. I ain't going to even hold you. But if you serve God, you not by yourself. So every ounce of you, every version of you that you step into, just know that the Holy Spirit will be there pushing your back as you give birth to the new versions of you. Every season, every time you get ready to emerge and step forward and excel and do greater works and walk into the next phase of your life, the higher version of yourself, every single time. I want you to remember that God is there with you with his hands on your back, pushing, not roughly, not forcefully, but he the midwife and he's pushing you. He helping you to give birth to everything he placed on the inside of you. And that is uncomfortable because you got comfortable in different versions of yourself that you thought was you, but it was never you. It was never who God made you to be. And you have to allow God to come in and teach you again and again in new seasons exactly who you are. Listen, I'm Josie, and it was a pleasure to bring this live to y'all today. Listen, if you have not liked, share, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell with the ringer on it so that when I go live, you will know. Please go ahead and like this, share this, follow, do all the things, because this series is going to get really good. And this is about reviving and restoring wifehood, because a lot of us, we as women, we need to know what it takes to really walk in purpose, what it takes to really be a wife. A lot of us want the marriage, we want the ring, we want the man, we want the white picket fence, we want the ideology of marriage, we want the the love and all of that that comes with marriage. But I want to tell you something that an old pastor of mine told me a long time ago. And they said marriage is for the mature. So there's a process of maturation that a woman has to go through in order to walk in wifehood. There's a process of becoming that a woman has to go through in order to fully walk as a wife. There is a becoming, there is a stripping away, there is a tearing away from different versions of yourself that you thought was who you really were. Only to then discover, if you get married and then it don't work out, you will soon find out that you were not ready to be a wife like you thought you were. And I think it's from the lessons that we get as we learn from our mistakes that help us to really be ready for wifehood. So sometimes you got to get in that thing only to find out it's not working for you. I mean, you're not ready for this. But if you are wise, you will take your time and let God show you the gray areas. Now, you will never be perfect. Even if you get married, you still gonna have to undo and relearn and undo. And I believe that, because we don't evolve in one setting of our lives. We continue to evolve and become the highest version of ourselves as women every single day. This is an ongoing journey. This ain't no race where you gonna run real swift and you gonna get to the finish line. This is a marathon. Your life as a woman is a marathon. Your life as a woman is a steady process of becoming. Always will be. Because when you in your 20s, you're going to be a different version of yourself. By the time you hit 21, you're going to be different. You hit 25, you're going to be different. You hit 29, you're going to be different. You hit 30, you're going to be different. Every single time, you're going to find yourself evolving. You ain't going to never arrive. And so it's just about enjoying the journey. Thank you. Jesus loves you too. It's just about enjoying the journey. Enjoying the process of evolution and growth as a woman is the key to preparation for becoming a wife. You're going to have to die to some ways that you have that won't serve you, such as selfishness and self-centeredness. Because a lot of us as women, we struggle with that real bad. We want for our men to cater to us on a silver platter. If he do not fit this idea of what I have in my mind, if he fail me, if he choose not to do what I want him to do, then he is the problem. When in all actuality, you just too self-centered and you a bit selfish. And you're going to have to face that before you get married if you want it to last. So we reviving wifehood on this platform. So if you have not subscribed, I want to invite you and welcome you to subscribe, join the family, so that every week when I go live once a week. And every week that I go live, we will be continuing this series until I feel like God is telling me to let up. But I pray that this bless you. I pray that this helped you. Share this with a woman that's becoming. Share this with a woman that's on her way. Share this with a woman that's in transition. Share this with a woman that wants to be a wife. Share this with a woman that is a wife but still lost. Because you can be in a position and not know how to carry the title. A wife is a powerful title to have. You basically been crowned queen. So imagine Queen Elizabeth, but in wife form. That's you. That's me. And we have been given authority as queens to do a great work with our husbands. And you have to be prepared for that work. King David did not go to the palace before his time. He did not. And it's not about age. It's not about your current circumstances in life. It's about when God say you ready. And sometimes you don't even feel ready when you ready. And sometimes you feel ready and you are ready. And sometimes you feel ready and you're not. It's life. It's life. So I love y'all. God loves you, and the price he paid for you is enormous. So I want y'all to remember, like, take that stress off your back. It's time for you to rise. Time for me to continue to rise. Time for us to cultivate the woman within so we can walk as wives. And until you understand who you are and who God is, and that God is your husband, and I'm telling you right now, we gonna be walking around suffering, and that don't have to be your story. Don't let years go by. You got married, but then you still lost. All right, you got married, but then now you don't know what to do as a wife. Listen, a wife is not a role you get into because you want marriage. It's a role you get into because you know that God called you to be a wife, and he will equip you on the journey as you go, but you have to surrender to him. If we do not, then your wifehood journey will be stunted. You will not be the best wife that you could possibly be, and I don't want that for you. Hey, welcome to today's live. I'm getting ready to go, y'all. If y'all have questions about this topic, I want to chat with y'all just for a little bit before I go. What are some struggles that you feel like you had or you have currently that may be stopping you from fully walking into the role of a wife, or prepare? You feel like it's stopping you from being prepared as a wife. So I want to hear from y'all. And if you do feel like you are prepared, what are some stuff you can encourage other women? I want to see and hear from you real quick before we go in the comments. Just tell me one thing that you feel like you struggle with, and we might pray, if you need that. But just tell me one thing you feel like you're struggling with, or what is something that you learned as a wife, if you are a current wife, that helped you on the journey. And if you don't have anything, that's cool too. And I'll catch y'all, on the next live. And so I'm waiting just a little bit of time to see if somebody puts something in the comments. And if nobody puts anything in the comments section, I am going to let y'all beautiful people go, because I got to go to Bible study in a few minutes. That time is ticking. I was supposed to only be on here for about maybe like 15 minutes, but every time I be like, I ain't going to be on here long, I end up being on here longer than what I expect. And so, but that's just because I care and I want to give value and I want to pour into everybody. I'm not really interested in what Google said about denigrate Islam. That don't really interest me. So I want God to bring salvation to Islam for sure. I do want God to bring peace to Islam for sure. Let his will be done. Let his will be done. So if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. God bless you for coming on, tuning in, and joining this live today. And I pray that y'all found something in this message that encouraged you, that inspired you to move, inspired you to shift, inspired you to want to even start your journey of self-discovery and find out who you are as a woman first, so you can choose the right spouse, so you can know who's for you, who's not, et cetera, et cetera. So God bless y'all. I love you. And I will see y'all on the next series next week. Keep your notifications on with the ringer, the bell, hit the bell with the ringer. So when I go live, y'all will be able to tune into the series and we can get this ball rolling. Okay. I love y'all. God bless you. And I'll see you next week.